You want to start by washing the potato, carrot, and celery. With the celery, you want to make sure you get all the dirt out of the inside. Next, you want to peel the potato and the carrot using your vegetable peeler, pushing it away from your body. Small dice the onion, pretty much as small as you can get it without being quite a mince. Julienne your carrot by giving yourself a flat base and then cutting thin pieces up and down. You want to stack the carrot on top of each other, just a few pieces, and again cut them into thin matchsticks. To get your brunoise cut, you want to turn your julienne sideways and cut them very small the other direction. You want to cut off both ends of your celery and then cut it into smaller pieces to make it easier to work with. Now lengthwise, you want to cut it into something similar to a julienne, thin pieces. Same thing as before, you're going to turn it sideways and you're going to cut it to about 1 millimeter pieces to achieve your paisson. You want to square off your potato. You do this by cutting yourself a flat base and then cutting it into a rectangular shape, cutting both ends off so it looks kind of like a rectangle. You want to slice it up and down first, and then you take about 2 stacks at a time and then stack it the other way, and you have these cuts that look like a French fry. Turning your bâtonnet sideways, you want to dice it into a medium dice. Go ahead and put it in your bowl. If you noticed before, there was a piece or two of dark brown inside the potato. Not a big deal, just go ahead and cut it out, and then cut your extra pieces into a medium dice as well, making them about the same size as you did before. Now you're gonna take all the extra pieces that you used earlier to square off your potato, cut them into a medium dice as well. These do not need to be perfect, just try to make them around the same size as before, so they should all cook evenly. You're going to remove the skin of 1 clove of garlic by smashing it with the flat side of your knife. You also want to remove the rough root end. You're going to slice it very thinly one way, turning it the other way and slicing it very thinly, making sure to use your claw so that you don't cut yourself. Now you go over the garlic over and over again, using your knife to scrape it into a pile until it's very small pieces. This will take you 1 to 2 minutes. Using the measurement label on the side of the stick of butter, you're going to cut a 1 tablespoon piece and a 2 tablespoon piece to give you 3 tablespoons total. Next, you're going to measure the spices. In one bowl, you're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, making sure to level it off. Now, this needs to go in a bowl by itself because we use it early in the recipe. In a separate bowl, you're going to measure 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of Tony's, and an additional 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Those can all go in the same bowl because we add them at the end. You're going to measure 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream. This is what it looks like. And then next, you are going to get 2 to 3 heaping tablespoons of flour. Now, heaping is when you do not level it off, like you want the little bump on top. You want to do 2 tablespoons if you like your soup like a normal kind of runny consistency. If you want a thicker soup, then you want to do 3 tablespoons of flour. We have 4 pieces of bacon, 3 tablespoons of butter divided, onion, celery, carrot, minced garlic, a chicken stock cup, flour, salt, water, potatoes, heavy cream, spices, and cheddar cheese for garnish. Choose a burner that matches your large saucepan. Then with your kitchen shears, go ahead and start cutting your 4 pieces of bacon directly into your saucepan. You can go ahead and turn on the heat. I would put it at about medium high, so somewhere right around a 6 while you are doing this. Once your bacon is cooked through, this will take anywhere between, I'd say, 5 and 8 minutes. You are going to remove it with a slotted spoon. So get as much as you can, let the grease drip back into the pan, and put it onto a clean plate or small bowl. Either will work. Now you want to try to get most of the bacon out of there, but if there's a couple little pieces, that's fine, not a big deal. You're going to take your 1 tablespoon piece of butter that you cut earlier and drop it directly into the pan. Make sure and do it quickly. You're gonna then put your mirepoix veggies, meaning your onion, your carrots, and your celery, right into the pan. Now, what I'm doing is I'm scraping the bottom, trying to get all the brown bits off. That is flavor, so you really wanna mix that. Now, y'all's mirepoix veggies, they're already gonna be bagged up together, so you'll just throw the whole bag in, and your salt as well, the 1/4 of a teaspoon by itself. Give it a really good stir, again, picking up the brown pieces from the bottom. That's flavor. You want to give it a good shake and cook this for about 10 minutes until it browns and it has softened. So you can see underneath there's all those dark brown pieces. Get your garlic, saute that for about 1 minute until it is really fragrant and starting to turn a little bit golden. And then you're going to put 2 more tablespoons of butter right into the pan. And you need to work quickly at this point. You're also going to drop in your chicken stock cup. Now you need to stir that around really well, making sure it like melts and incorporates into the veggies and into the butter. Once those are both melted and incorporated in, you can go ahead and add your flour. So drop it right on in, stir it pretty quickly. You only want to cook this for about 1 minute until you have no more pieces of like that white raw flour in there. So we're basically making a roux at this point. The butter, the fat, and the flour, that's what's going to thicken our soup for us. So at this point you are going to have some stuck to the bottom, and make sure you're working quickly or else the heat's going to burn it. So you want to take your water 1 cup at a time and give it a really good stir. Again, this whole time I'm scraping up those brown bits from the bottom. Here in about 30 seconds or so, all the brown bits should be up from the bottom. You should be able to incorporate them into your soup. I'm ready to add in another cup or so of water, giving it a really good stir. And then I think I go ahead and add in all of the water. Give it a really good stir. Make sure that your heat is up to about medium high at this point. I would say about an 8 would be good. You want to bring your mixture now to a boil. So we're gonna go ahead and drop in all of our diced potatoes. Again, quick stir, and then you leave it uncovered on the stove, cooking for 15 minutes. This is what your soup will look like once it has come to a boil. So once you see it at this point, the bubbles constantly rising to the top, you want to drop the heat down to about a medium low, I'd say a 4. After your soup has been cooking for 15 minutes, test a potato to make sure they're cooked all the way, and then turn off your heat. You're going to want to add in your heavy cream using a rubber scraper to get all of it out of there. It sticks to the liquid measuring cup, so make sure to get every bit. You're also going to drop in your spices, which is your black pepper, your salt, and your Tony's. Give it a really good stir, and it really is best if you can let the soup sit there for at least 10 minutes. The flavors really blend together and it tastes so good. If you're running short on time in class, go ahead and ladle it up into your individual serving bowls, making sure to taste for seasoning. Everyone has a different palate. If you want some more salt or pepper or seasoned salt, go ahead and add some into your individual bowl. So grab your ladle, put a couple spoonfuls, and then you can use the bacon that you pulled out earlier and some cheddar cheese to garnish the top with. You can do that however much you want, and then your soup is ready to eat.